The Dell 5555. A great bargain at around $350, or a great disappointment and a waste of your money? Let's find out today on Alan. Welcome to Alan Tech. Today we have the Dell 5555, which is a laptop released in early 2015 using an AMD A6-7410 APU with R5 graphics. For the most part, they come with 4 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte hard drive. They have a 15.6-inch screen, which runs at a resolution of 1280 by 768, and this particular model is also a touchscreen. All that combined together gives you about 3.5 hours of continuous runtime and web surfing and usage. This particular one has been upgraded to 8 gigs of RAM with 6.94 usable, the rest going to the graphics card. More on that later. It comes with Windows 8.1, but as some of you can tell, I've already done the Windows 10 upgrade. It has a large trackpad, and as well as the 10 key, which is great for a lot of users. The profile is just short of an inch thick. I don't know if you can really see it there. There is some USBs on that side. There's pretty much nothing on the front other than the speaker over here. And then over here you have an HDMI out, a USB, and also a card reader, which is very useful. And I forgot to mention on this side, it does have a CD drive, which is pretty nice to have in a laptop under an inch thick, because they are a dying breed at the moment, but some people still need to use them. I should be getting some Dirt Showdown benchmarks up for you. I had 24.7 frames per second average with 18.5 on high settings. I didn't really tweak the settings, I just used their preset for high and ran with it, and that's what I got. That's probably playable, but you're probably going to want to move down to medium or low to get a really good playable, smooth experience. Average 24 lows. The touchscreen is very responsive, albeit it's pretty much worthless because this isn't a convertible laptop. It doesn't flip over onto a tablet mode, or it doesn't disconnect. So I would skip on the touchscreen because it really doesn't add much usability to this laptop. The laptop itself has moments of speed, but coming with only 4 gigs of RAM and also that nice huge 1 terabyte hard drive really lags behind because it's a 5400 RPM drive, and then you tag team that with a 8 meg cache, which this Western Digital drive comes with, and it really pulls this computer down. There is much more that the A8 could be doing. Running at full tilt, the A8 usually runs about 50 to 60% of its full operating capacity. So you could almost double performance if the hard drive was keeping up. But I believe the bottleneck is really coming from the hard drive. And before the upgrade to the 8 gigs of RAM, it was really having a tough time just even playing 60 frames per second 1080p video on YouTube, which is something that's pretty much any computer should be able to do nowadays that has any kind of decent merit or respect. I mean, without the RAM upgrade, it would be pretty much a glorified web surfing machine that could watch 1080p video but not 60 frame per second video. And that's saying something bad because my wife has an HP business class laptop that can run 60 frames per second without any trouble, and it's 5 years old. Now this laptop starts around $30, not $30, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Starts around $330. I got this one on a place called Shop Your Way, which is Kmart and Sears affiliated, but this was from the marketplace. It is a refurbished unit and came with a 90-day warranty. You can still buy them new. And this is just one version of the model. I think there is another version with an A10 and 12 gigs of RAM starting, but it costs a lot more too, I'm afraid. All in all, I would say this is a very good value in today's market, but to get the most out of it, you're going to have to really upgrade the RAM, and you're going to have to upgrade the hard drive. I have planned to get a hard drive upgrade pretty quick, and I hope to do another video after that and do maybe some more benchmarking and see if that really helps. But one more thing in closing that I really hated that they did, because I ordered this and I didn't know exactly what I was getting because the pictures aren't always the same, and I really don't know if this shows up too well or not. Yeah, there it is. The fingerprints. The fingerprints. And there's some scratches in it now too already, and I've had this for about a month using it and seeing how it works. And why just don't use glossy plastic. Glossy plastic is very annoying. There was a flat black version of this too, like a textured flat black, and I really wish I'd gotten that version of it, because anytime you touch this, it just shows up the fingerprints. Constantly having to clean it, and literally in the next few minutes it'll already be fingerprints all over it. Whereas on the inside, you can tell that it has the flat black, and I touch it more than I touch the outside, but you get a lot less fingerprints. So that would be my closing. In closing overall, yes, it's probably a pretty good deal, but really to get the most out of it, you have to really upgrade this computer. And I would actually like to shout out, because, let me cover that up, it's actually very easy to work on. There's just one, I really don't know if it's showing up too good in the video, but there's this one panel right here, and the hard drive and RAM are both under it. It makes it very easy to change things out and do things in it. So, yes, probably a very good laptop to start with. The APU has a lot of potential, especially it being such a low power using APU. So you could really get some battery life out of this. But I would skip on the touchscreen version of it, and also plan for a hard drive upgrade and RAM upgrade. The RAM cost me about $30 online, and probably a good refurbished hard drive, something with a little bit more cache, maybe around 500 gigs or so, is probably going to be about another 40 or 50. So this laptop's looking about $400, but after which you probably have a pretty good laptop. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time on Allen Tech.